of like all of the American Congress folk from both parties just talking about like Irish trade policy out of nowhere. Okay, it was hilarious.
Let's find out together. Hello everyone. You may know me as Rob or Bante Warapano. I was a Buddhist monk for 7 years, and now I'm a little bit of a spiritual entertainer. Today I want to talk about something a little bit more serious, concerned with war and violence and genocide. Specifically, I want to give attention to the genocide that's been going on in Gaza, in Palestine, for quite a few years now, being conducted by Israel. And then talk a little bit about what we can do about that as practitioners, as people, as human beings. So the recent history is, of course, the Holocaust of the Jewish people in Germany. And after that major event, a Israeli state or a Jewish state was founded in the Middle East. And this place in the Middle East was already populated. There were many people there, many communities, families, children for a long time, you know. It wasn't just a desert, but it was a populated area. And through violence, an Israeli state was able to be founded and created. That brings us to I suppose it was a few years ago when there was a raid against Israel by affiliated anti-Israeli groups, militant groups, from the Palestine side to Israel, a big attack. And what has transpired since that attack was a much bigger attack on the Palestine people, through advanced weaponry provided by the United States government, through starvation, through sustained genocide, restriction of access to resources that will allow life to go on in Palestine, perpetrated by the Israeli state. And now the present situation is starvation, overall lack of access to basic needs in this small area of Palestine that most of the Palestinian people have been pushed into and moved into. Many children have died, many women, many men. People are starving. People are going through sickness that would otherwise easily be cured and taken care of, but because of lack of access to resources, they have to die. Fathers have to see their children die. Children have to see their fathers and mothers die, etc. So we may wonder, who is to blame? Who's there to be punished? Who can we harm because of this atrocity, because of this suffering that has been recognized? It's really not the right question. This is a situation that is originating out of greed, anger, fear, the desire to control, the desire to own, to possess, the desire to be right, the desire for someone else to be wrong. The truth of the matter is that many people in Palestine do not have access to water, food, shelter, safety, peace of mind, education, healthcare. And the people in Israel by and by do. And we as people, as a practitioner, as a person on this planet Earth, I don't have the ability to put food in the mouth of a Gazan child, nor do I have the capacity to kick an Israeli in the balls or to kick Netanyahu in the balls. I don't have the ability to do that. But in recognizing and appreciating this reality of suffering that's going on today, even though I'm not experiencing it, I can be much more responsible for my own greed, for my own anger, for my own want to control or to possess, to control life, to control the environment, to make it be the way that I want it to be, to make it be the way that I think that it should be, or to complain and whine about the fact that it's not the way that I would like for it to be. Taking this way of practice in relationship to Israel-Palestine, the genocide that's going on in Palestine, it has nothing to do with being complacent or patting yourself on the back. Oh, well, I did my meditation today, so I guess I don't have to think about the reality of what's going on over there. But instead, I can see that this is my right now. This is the deepest way that I can interact with the suffering of the world, by facing the suffering within myself, by really being there for it, by seeing how out of control the smallest bits of identity, of anger, of hatred, of wanting to be right, how these tiny seeds can bloom and spread out in such horrible ways. So, if I could, this is what I would bring to Gaza. Not because I think that it's right or special or precisely what they need. I think that's kind of disgusting, you know, to be healthy and at peace and have my needs met, and to say, oh, I'm going to go and teach meditation, some random idea about spirituality to the people in Gaza. That's what I need. But rather what I mean by that is that this is the best that I can offer. This is the best that this body can offer. And of course, bring as much food and water and resources as I can pile on my back. But if I had to go to Gaza alone now, then this is what I would bring. And recognizing that it's very unlikely that I'll be going to Gaza, I can bring this. What do I mean when I say this? Some sense of peace, some sense of not avoiding, not seeking, and just facing life. And feeling into and connecting, linking up. With this truth that there is an end of suffering in this life. There is an apparent end of suffering in this life. There is an apparent, unavoidable truth. That is not about thoughts. And so when I say this, I'm not pointing to an ideology. I'm not pointing to a workbook or a packet of thoughts or words and phrases. But this is definitely the body and mind. But it's also all the space around this body and mind, and all the space that make up this body and mind, what I call this body and mind. Instead of fixating on thoughts and trying to solve some problem, I can see that my greatest power to problem solve is in going more and more deeply into my experience, more and more deeply within myself. More and more deeply within my awareness, instead of the things that I'm aware of. That this awareness is inclusive of any and all possibilities. Just because I meditate deeply doesn't mean that I am disassociating from the problems of my life or of the world. It doesn't mean that I'm choosing complacency over action. But rather it is a way of establishing myself in the very nature of being, so that whatever I choose to do will be empowered, will not be done flippantly, will not be done vaguely, will not be done impractically, but done with my whole body and mind in sync with the nature. Being in tune with the way that things actually are right now, I find myself to be much more empowered than ever before to work with the things that appear. Not differentiating between meditation and life. That in fact, this life is the meditation on being human. May I practice it deeply. May the depth of my practice in all kinds of ways benefit others deeply. May I find success in my wish to benefit others. so that we can be at peace. Within ourselves. So that we can help to give out peace in the world. May all beings, especially those in war, suffering through genocide, all those beings going through difficulties, may their difficulties be lessened, reduced, and ended. May all beings, whether or not they have access to food, water, shelter, or medical care, may they be at peace. May they be free from suffering. May they be free from worry. May they be free from fear. May all actions of perpetrators, abusers, war criminals come to an end. May all those who have harmed or are harming others stop, turn their mind around, and look back within themselves to see the suffering within and to stop the suffering without. May all of us who are on this path continue on the path. May we be patient, open-minded. May we dare to look deeply even when it is difficult. May all the merits from this practice be shared with all beings, and may all beings receive these merits. May it be, may it be, may it truly, truly be. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.